Having someone waiting on you hand and foot doesn't sound like a bad idea. A personal butler would tend to your every need and make you feel like a character in Downton Abbey. But only a few of us can shell out that type of money, and the best butlers charge some hefty amounts for their premium services. In this video, we're giving you a roundup of the 10 highest paying butlers in the world. Let's get started. Number 10. Gary Williams. If you look up butler in the dictionary, you might find a photo of Gary Williams underneath. He is the best example of an ideal butler, not only in his appearance, but also his manners. He's an easy conversationalist, attentive, and also trustworthy. All the perfect attributes. With this in mind, there's no wonder he's now the principal of the British Butler Institute that trains up to 2,000 people per year. Williams got his own training from the prestigious London School and has previously worked at the Ritz, the Brazilian Embassy, and even for royal families. Most interestingly, he also butlered in a giant 500-year-old mansion in North Yorkshire. For all his efforts, he rakes in hundreds of thousands a year. Number 9. Steve Ford. If you've butlered for Claudius Schiffer and Matthew Vaughn, it's safe to say you've made it in your career. Steve Ford is in his 20th year of working as a private butler, having started at only 27. And with his high standards, there's no reason why he wouldn't have a shot to the top. Now teaching at the Bespoke Bureau, he has detailed instructions for how to behave. Did you know that butlers never offer their hand to be shaken and never say you're welcome? Ford served nearly a decade in the British Army and claims ex-soldiers make the best butlers. The job, however, doesn't come without difficulties. The hardest part, he claims, is staying quiet, even when your boss is wrong, instead of offering unneeded advice. Your employer expects nothing less than peak dedication to the job. You're supposed to stay put and serve your boss even if you have a sick child at home. But with these sacrifices comes a small fortune in a salary. Number 8. Daniel Bentley. Americans fork out heavy cash for British accented butlers, and Daniel Bentley is living proof. An Englishman, he moved to America with his now ex-wife after receiving his early training in managing hotels. But the profession also comes with its fair share of oddities. Some eccentric employers include a sheikh who called up Bentley from his quarters to turn off a light in his room, as well as an American hotshot who threw a luxury shoebox at his head. Then there's the Italian businessman who coerced him into getting a bulletproof vest. Still, in spite of these tyrants, Bentley says the job is worth it, just for being able to travel the world and live a life of luxury on someone else's expense. He might also have us convinced. Number 7. Dillon. Dillon is another military man turned butler, and he started big. He left the soldier's life 3 years ago to work at Palm Jumeirah, Dubai. Since he started, he's worked up a salary that's twice as much as his starting amount, and that's on top of additional bonuses like bi-weekly travel in a private jet, a luxury apartment, and an annual 2 months vacation. But even Dillon's seen plenty of unusual requests, including having to find a nanny for 2 meerkat babies. Still, he puts his all into the job. On top of being on call 24/7 and caring for every aspect of his employer's business life, he also needs to ensure he's always looking his best in the scorching Dubai heat. What Dillon gets in return is a great-looking bank balance. Number 6. Adam. Emirati families must have loads of cash to spare, what with their 60-foot yacht parked in Europe and their own premium butler. Adam says the yacht is populated with celebrities and incredibly influential people who pose some strange requests every once in a while. They seem like an intrinsic part of the job at this point. And for Adam, they come in the form of traveling to the Swiss Alps to buy premium coffee. Hey, but at least he was aboard a private jet. And then there's the Dubai dinner party, postponed until their crockery shipment arrived from Europe since one VIP refused to dine with porcelain. Still, Adam wouldn't have it any other way, and the amazing salary is just the cherry on the top. Number 5. André Meester. Butlering might be the only job where your yearly bonus looks like a car worth 160,000 euros. André Meester, now owner of a Mercedes-Benz, started working in hospitality when he was just 10 years old, which means he was the polite butler persona down pat. Now 38, he works at a colossal 5-story mansion in the Netherlands, and that's only one of his boss's 3 homes. In the past, he has had to set up 6-foot-tall Christmas trees and figure out how to make homemade chocolates. Meester's regular duties in his 12-hour workday involve serving coffee, getting the groceries, and cooking meals. And all the while, he's sure to never breach the boundaries of his strictly professional relationship with his employer. The benefits include weekends off, free dinners out, and of course, luxury cars. Number 4. David Youdovin. Now the founder and CEO of Higher Society, David Youdovin spent a year and a half butlering for billionaires, and earned a massive salary doing so. He left his Wall Street job to give hospitality another shot. No wonder, since he was working for one of the world's wealthiest private families, with his employer having a 10-figure net worth. His job sounds both lucrative and fulfilling. His salary package came with full benefits, medical plans, paid time off, luxury living situations, and lots more. Now, having founded a staffing agency to place more butlers at wealthy households, Youdovin wants to help other people experience the joy of a job well done. Number 3. Thomas Kaufmann. Thomas Kaufmann has lived quite an interesting life. Having previously worked in many Swiss banks, he left his job for an intensive 2-month training at the Dutch-based International Butler Academy. His internship in Chengdu, China piqued his interest for him to want to stay. There, he found work as a private butler at the home of the extremely wealthy. But as much as Chinese millionaires have sought after European butlers, the job is still hard. The hardest part being the language barrier. Now, Kaufman takes Mandarin classes twice a week and works training a team of 20 Chinese butlers. And with all the money he makes, his pockets aren't getting lighter anytime soon. Number 2. Frederick Sans. After British, American and Chinese families, next up on the list we have the wealthy Canadians, hiring expert butlers like Frederic Sans. His appearance differs from the traditional stereotype with his polo shirt and slacks, but this seems fitting for the type of family he butlers for. No champagne glasses and caviar dishes are seen in action here. Instead, one of his first duties for his employer was setting up a nice, standard barbecue. Their spectacular summer party ended with a formal night and a dinner for nearly 300. Now 44, the Paris native left the job to work as head waiter at an extravagant hotel, but the challenge of butlering isn't something you can find anywhere else, so he wants to return. The massive salary he'd make is probably equally tempting. Number 1. Alan Miller. This 51-year-old stumbled into his career by accident, thanks to a chance phone call. He had no idea what he was getting into, and 25 years down the line, he makes big bucks to show for it. He left his own barbecue restaurant to work for an incredibly successful businessman dealing with body paralysis. He started work and quickly learned everything butlering asks from you, from intense multitasking to handling smart technologies. The latter is really important to get used to, especially for an old-school butler like Williams. With large estates with their own wine cellars and security screens, there's a lot to figure out in order to do your job well, he says. But once you've learned the ropes, there's a lot to gain in your bank account. That's all for the 10 highest paid butlers in the world. Let us know in the comments if you'd ever consider this job for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe to our channel for similar content. See you in the next one.